Courage under fire. God's sovereignty, it comforts us. It comforts us and gives us strength to go through difficult times. We know for sure that He does all things together for our good. And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to His purpose. God's sovereignty, it also gives us courage when we face things that come against us. A perfect illustration is when Daniel's 3 friends who were thrown into the fiery furnace. Most of us know the story, and we tend to emphasize that the Lord, wow, He rescued the 3 friends who were thrown in there in the fire. The fire didn't even touch them. Their body didn't smell like smoke, nothing. Their hair wasn't singed, nothing. The other men that threw them in there, they were burnt up in the fire instantly. Because the king's order was urgent and the furnace overheated, the flame of the fire killed those men who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell bound into the fiery furnace. It's important that we remember that these 3 men, they were willing to go into this fire. Even if God was not going to save their lives, didn't matter, they were willing to go. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and He will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. The story started. It started when King Nebuchadnezzar, when he built this golden image, and probably it was covered with gold, wood inside it, something like that. We're not for sure about that, but it did have gold on it. And the image was 90 feet tall and 9 feet wide. We don't know if it was the image that looked like the king himself, or if it was an image of their king, that their god that they worshiped there. We're not sure about that. But we do know that all the people were to worship it. And the herald proclaimed aloud, You are commanded, O peoples, nations, and languages, that when you hear the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, bagpipe, and every kind of music, you are to fall down and worship the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar has set up, and whoever does not fall down and worship shall immediately be cast into the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, as soon as all the peoples heard the sound of the horn, pipe, lyre, trigon, harp, bagpipe, and every kind of music, all the peoples, nations, and languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that King Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Some of the advisors to King Nebuchadnezzar, they were probably jealous of Daniel and his 3 friends because they were elevated to high positions in the king's court. Anyway, these advisors, they betrayed Daniel and his friends because they refused to worship this God who was a fake God. They would only worship the one true God of heaven. There are certain Jews whom you have appointed over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, pay no attention to you. They do not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. At that time long ago, King Nebuchadnezzar, he was the most powerful man in the world. And he was used to getting his own way for whatever he wanted. And he commanded that those 3 men, that they go and bow down and worship that image. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a carved image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is on the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God. King Nebuchadnezzar, he was so powerful. If these 3 men had been like the other people, they would have been so scared. These men, they were faithful to refuse the king's order to go and worship this idol. They didn't know if the God of heaven was going to save them from the fire. They didn't know. They didn't know if they were going to live. They didn't know, but they were willing to go to the fire. They didn't believe that they owed the Lord, had to serve him because he had done things for them in the past. No. They were faithful to him simply because he is the one true God. Those three, they were willing to die rather than rebel against God and worship this idol. They didn't think that their lives were worthy, that God should save them. But they were refusing to worship this idol. They wanted to honor God. Question: are we willing to die rather than rebel against the Lord and worship a false God instead of the one true God? Are we willing? Now let's apply this to our Christian life. God rescued these three faithful men. He did. They were not willing to bow down to this idol of King Nebuchadnezzar. No. The Lord promises that he will save us too. But maybe he's not going to save us from dangers here on earth. We don't know. Maybe we'll die and not be rescued. But we do have a promise of salvation. When? When Jesus comes again. God keeps his promises to save us. The reason that we continue to be faithful and to save him is because of his promise that we will have eternal life with him. We should roll up our sleeves and save him. Why? Because he's sovereign. And secondly, because he is wise. We should trust in him to save us, no matter what way he does this. You and me, we are not worthy for God to save us on the cross. We are not. Same as these three faithful men. They weren't worthy, and they knew that. Why did God choose to save us? It's because he loves us. That's it. If we had to obey his law to be saved, then we would have to become worthy. We would have to. Is that possible? No, it's impossible. The only person that can do that is Jesus in human form, and he is worthy to it. We are accepted by Jesus through the blood on the cross. Also, we do not owe a debt to God. We do not need to do something for him to save us. No, we don't. Jesus canceled any debt that we owed. So what's left for us to do? Well, it's to show our gratitude, our thankfulness to him. And how do we do this? We do this through serving him faithfully, the same as these three men did. They served him faithfully. They were willing to die for him instead of worship an idol. Quorum deal.